You know, so I understand that I could be led to believe something that's not entirely true. I get that. I have a hard time. I got a globe sitting here on my desk right now. Okay.
Can you turn it upside down and tell me if there's a sticker on the bottom?
Well, there's not.
If there's no sticker on the bottom, are you sure? On the base, a sticker.
On the base, on the bottom of the base?
On the base of the globe, on the very bottom. You have to turn the globe upside down to see it.
Let's see.
Is there a sticker down there? Because a lot of times the sticker comes off. So on the bottom there, is there a sticker?
No sticker.
All right. So it's old. There, it comes with a sticker that says not for educational purposes, for decorative purposes only. All globes. Next time you're in a store, you see a globe, turn it upside down, look at the sticker. It's there.
Okay.
Because they don't want to be sued for someone go, you know, I tried to go from South America to Africa. I got lost at sea. 2 of my children fell over. I had to eat them. I was starving because I couldn't catch any fish. And then they're under a lawsuit because the globe is wrong. sorry about the visualization of eating your children, but you know, you get hungry out there.
All right.
Go ahead.
I know we got 1 hour.
Yeah.
And I want to be convinced that the earth is flat.
I'll do my best.
I want you to convince me of that. And I do have questions about, you know, if we're on this axis and we're spinning around so fast, why we don't feel it.
Yeah.
Why we look like we're slapped on the side of a ball instead of, you know, standing up vertically, you know, on these globes. You know, it looks like everything's just labels on the outside of a ball instead of something. It just don't make sense to me. But that's where I question the globe Earth. Flat Earth, what's the edge? You know, why do we not just slide off the end of the earth or
okay,
you know, just basic
all right, let's start with those questions right there, and then we'll come back to you for more. So, well, here's a Japanese map from 10 centuries ago that shows a shit ton of other continents out there.
Wow.
Okay, what if it was set up like this, where this is Antarctica and there are a couple openings and you can get out to the extra territory, extra terra. If you lived on this extra terra, and this is the inner space where I live, and you lived out here, you might be an extraterrestrial from outer space.
Okay, so that would
inner space, outer space. This is the worlds beyond our worlds.
I've never seen this before.
Maybe it's even worse. Maybe there's ring after ring after ring. Maybe there's other puddles out there. And south. Maybe every straight line is south. That's south. If I start at the north, any line is immediately south. If I start in Santiago, I'm kind of heading northwest, northwest, northwest. Right here, I'm heading west. And now I'm heading southwest, southwest. And now I'm heading south. Okay. But nobody has gone south and magically appeared back here.
Right.
Nobody ever. Now, some people have claimed to do it. We watched a few years ago. There was a guy called himself the ZQ pilot. He was going for the world record of north-south circumnavigation, and you could track him. So this is his path. You know, here's the North Pole here. He went over to Alaska, to California, out to these islands over here to Santiago. And then he went to Antarctica. And he said when he got to the South Pole, the weather was too bad and he had to turn around. So he turned around and we're like, oh, well, it's not going to get the world record. Goes up through Brazil, New York, or wherever, and boom. Guinness Book gave him the world record for southern circumnavigation. First person to ever southerly circumnavigate. Does that look like circumnavigation?
Not even close.
This is what it looks like on a flat earth map. He just went boom, boom. He went around the pond. He went over to the goalpost, touched it. That's like me saying my straight street is a circle. Let me prove it to you. I'm going to go to the end. I'm going to touch the telephone pole at the end of the street. And then I'm going to turn around and go to the other end. And I'm going to go, look, it's a circle. The same stupid thing. Okay. This is all he did. Okay. And the fact that he got the world record for the first person to southerly circumnavigate tells you something. Yeah. Everything's controlled. Everything is a lie. And it's right there in front of us. They gave us this information. Many people will go, what about the ZQ pilot? He circumnavigated, so you lose. Did you ever look at it? Did you ever look at what Colin O'Brady said? Colin O'Brady, guy that said he went across Antarctica, his path, and again, the information they gave us, I don't even think he did this, but he went from here over to here, and then he went over to here, and then I think he went over to Africa or something like that. Something stupid where he didn't go south and pop up over here on the other side of the world. Nobody's ever done that. And if you look at airplane routes going from Santiago to Australia, you would think that this is the best route. Zip, or just don't disturb the penguins, go around, right? But this is the way they go. They go all the way up here. And to go to Western Australia, check this out. Ready? Remember this path.
Okay.
Santiago, all the way up to the United States, across the United States, all the way over to the Far East, all the way down to Singapore and to Australia. That's the route that they take. Why do they do that? Why don't they just cut across the bottom of the ball? Right? And the reason is, remember that route. Santiago, all the way up, United States, Far East, Singapore, Western Australia. Airplanes fly straight level over the Earth plane.
Right.
They don't fly upside down over a spinning ball in a space vacuum. It's pretty stupid.
Watching the rover, okay, out there on Mars, which we haven't even touched other planets.
Boy.
You know,
Go ahead.
There was a video where it looked like there was a fly that landed on it.
Yeah, probably. You know why?
And when I think it was when Elon Musk sent up SpaceX and the Dragon was out there and it was going, and they did a zoom in, it looked like a field mouse ran out onto the,
I can explain that perfectly.
Okay, how?
It was filmed here on Earth.
Those are just fake, right? Fake videos?
No, it's filmed here on Earth. There is no Mars, okay? There are no planets. They used to be called wandering stars, right? But you take today's optics, you zoom in on Mars, this is what you see, okay? That's not what NASA, that's not what NASA shows us. This is what we see. When you zoom in on stars, they look completely different than what they show us. Here's the star Sirius. Does that look like a burning ball 9 million billions of miles away? Here's the star Arcturus. This one's one of my favorites because it's really easy to focus in on. Yeah. Right. Here's a bunch of other stars. This is not what NASA shows us. Our optics have outgrown their lies.
Well, they do look round, though. I don't have an explanation for it.
You do have an explanation for it. The Earth is flat. You've been lied to. You're having a hard time letting go of your ball. Use your adult brain. Let go of the childish clinging to the ball. Don't take my ball away. Okay, like we've all been there. We've all been there. All right.
But a flat Earth model won't look as good on my desk, Dave.